Pull your panties up because it's hump day, and if it's Wednesday, then this must be the Closers Podcast. As always, you can find us on Instagram at the Closers Podcast. You can follow me at Quintessential39. You can follow Marco at MARC_avocado. It's spelled a little funky, AVACADO. Follow us at Facebook, Closers Podcast, and of course, YouTube, The Closers Podcast. I am one half of your host, the maestro of meatballs, the fanatic for fettuccine, Quinn Kalani, joined as always by the purveyor of the perverse and a lover of lasagna, Marco Alvarado.
Hello, it is me.
Our guest today, coming to you from the dirty, the 270, the nexus of all things ratchet. The Mayans said the world was going to end in 2012. Well, me and our next guest certainly lived like it. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the only two people I've ever lived with, my old pal, Kevin Pierce. Kev, what's going on, brother?
Oh, my God. Oh, God. I'm good, bro. The intro.
I was not expecting that at all, Quinn. Jesus Christ.
The intro was off the charts, bro. You should write a movie. I know why you're writing movies now. It makes sense.
Off the Richter, brother. Off the Richter.
Oh, my gosh.
But how are you doing, dog? It's been a hot minute. I've talked to you, every now and then since we parted ways in 2012. But it's the first time I'm seeing you. How you been?
Good, man. Been good. Wow,
So
it has been 8 years, bro. That's crazy,
dude. Decade's almost gone. We could almost do a 10-year party reunion.
I know, right?
From our Western days.
It's
Dude,
true.
did you go to your 10-year reunion? It was last year, wasn't it?
No, it would have been this year. It would have been October.
Yeah.
And then they canceled it because of the pandemic, and they're moving it to next year. But, I got to be 100% honest with you. There's just a lot of fucking people I don't care to see. And so I'm trying to like, canoodle some of the old gang together. Just like, I don't know, maybe a party at the lake house.
That'll be lit.
It made the old gang, dog, me, you, of course, Ryan, Mitchell, some of the OGs. But dude, how have you been, man?
I'm good, dude. You need to write like monologues or comedy sketches. That intro was just, I'm still tripping over it. I can't get over it.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was a really good intro. But you guys
Is that the intro every time?
No, that's a special intro just for you.
This is only second time I've ever done the intro, dog.
I'm honored.
That may change though after that performance. That was crazy. He straight Josh Allen it, just out of nowhere, just coming out balling. That was crazy. So you guys went to school together though, right? Just for context.
Yeah. Yep.
Where'd you guys attend?
High school.
Yeah. We went to high school together. I was a year ahead of Kevin. And then 2011, 2012, we joined forces at Western. Pierce Ford Tower, wasn't it?
PFT, bro.
26th floor, corner pocket with the purple room.
Yep. I think our room, dude, I was actually thinking about it when you said you were in a podcast. I was like, I think our room was 2619. That was our number, wasn't it?
Yeah, dog.
I got to get that tatted or something, bro.
Dude, if you do it, I'll match you for sure.
2619.
I'm about to knuckle it. 26.
Lit.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah, dude. Originally, we weren't living together. Ryan dropped out first.
Like a month in.
Yeah. And then I remember we were talking about it. I didn't like who I was living with. And you didn't want to live with someone who had no idea who the fuck they were. Yeah. And so we just joined forces, man. I remember your tiger blanket keeping me warm damn near every night.
Yep. Bro, you were in the all boys dorm, wasn't you? Before that?
Yeah, it was crucial. It was crucial, yeah. And it was
dude, we weren't cool in high school. We never hung out. We didn't really I knew you, but like we didn't kick it or anything.
Right, which is weird because we had We had like a shit ton of mutual friends.
Yeah, I know, right? We were in the same circle, but just never connected somehow.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. But
now we're boys for life.
Dude, like I said, man, there's only 2 people I've ever lived with. Consequently, they both came out of that year, man, 2012. You and Ryan, one of the most important years of my life, dude.
Wow.
I don't know,
times, bro.
Wild times. I mean, I can barely remember shit from that year, but dude, the friendships that I've made in that year, you, Ryan, Ross G, Ross D,
Yep.
The Rosses.
The Rosses, Ross Squared.
I've heard many things about the Rosses, especially Ross G. When you're cool, you're never hot.
That's the line, man. Shout out to Ross G. Keep holding it down in Eastern Kentucky Penitentiary for all the good people out there.
Yeah, I miss that dumb motherfucker. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
Yeah, dude, say what you want. Shit, cunt, piss, balls.
I think I heard you cuss, so I was...
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
But man, since we left Western, since I moved to Nebraska and then to California and now I'm in Hawaii, dude, I've been so proud. I've been so proud to see your growth, man. Fucking, you have 2 kids, 2 beautiful daughters.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it, bro.
Dude, you have a steady career. You're the only person out of all of our group that I know that has a career. And dude, are you finna buy a house?
Yeah, man, I close on it in 3 days, actually.
What?
Yep.
Dang.
At the close Friday.
Dude, Jesus died and rose in 3 days, and you're finna lay down a foundation, brother. Respect. So I just wanted to tell you up front how proud I am of you, man, to see your growth and just to see how hard you worked and how hard you've grinded. And to see the kind of man and family man that you've become, it really makes me proud of you and proud to call you my friend.
Bro, I appreciate it a lot, man. It means a lot, dude. I mean, really, before having kids, I was basically a piece of shit. I mean, a typical 20-year-old person, essentially.
Right.
But then once you have kids, you got to grow the fuck up.
Changes your entire world, man, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
What's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned, from having kids? What have they taught you?
Man,
I know there's probably a lot, but
I think the biggest thing for me personally is probably patience, because I have no patience at all. Just in my DNA, I'm just a super impatient person. And I'll literally, if I'm walking through the house and my dog's walking slow in front of me, I'll get pissed off. I'll be like, fucking move, Marley, go. I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm always trying to move. I'm really high energy. I just want shit to happen back to back to back.
Yeah.
And kids, it's you really gotta like my daughter just started school, so she's starting homework now. So I gotta sit down with her and focus and help her do that. And with kids in general, I mean, you have to have a lot of patience with them and just understanding and stuff. So that's probably the biggest thing for me, is just being more patient.
I feel that, man. I'm a pretty impatient person myself, so I definitely get that.
Dude, I also imagine that the comedy never stops having children.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. Having kids is just so funny. The best thing is that they're just so unfiltered.
Just hanging around. It's like hanging around drunk people all day.
Yeah. They just keep it 100 all the time.
That's awesome, dude. So tell us about your career, man. What have you gotten into? How are you building these racks?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even really say I have a career. Technically, I'm a freelancer, but I don't know. I mean, I'm doing Facebook advertising mainly for a bunch of different clients and businesses and stuff. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, full time. And I mean, I like it a lot. It's got its pros and cons, but it's my favorite way I've made money so far in life.
Is it SEO, that type of thing?
Kind of similar. So yeah, I mean, SEO is a different type of marketing, but Facebook ads is it's basically another branch of marketing. So if you have marketing as the main umbrella, you have SEO, organic, posting, YouTube, and then Facebook ads, Instagram, it's just a branch off of marketing for businesses.
That's cool because I'm a marketing major, so I'm studying that right now. So did you get your degree in marketing as well, or is that something you picked up just?
Nah, your boy, thanks to Quinn's awesome influence, failed all 4 of my classes at Western.
I wish I could deny it, but that's the fucking truth.
I started strong, bro. Like the first month and a half, I was going to most of my classes. I'd miss an 8 a.m. here or there. But then about 2 months in, so Ryan left about a month in, me and Quinn moved together. By about 2 months, we basically both were just like, fuck it. We're not going to pass these classes. I'd quit going after 2 months. So then we just spent the next 4 months just partying basically.
Dude, as soon as we moved in together, we fucking abandoned the academic life and went straight to the party life.
We just jumped ship, bro. We were like, it's over for us. Let's just while we're here. And we did, dude. We did.
Okay.
We had crazy amounts of fun, dude. There was literally times where we'd wake up intending to go to class, and as I would open up like my wardrobe closet, there'd be.
Bro. We wake up at noon and all the classes are over. We were like, we never.
No, I'm saying like as we were getting to that point, we'd find like a quarter or an eighth or a gram or two, and then we'd be like, "Oh, we could go to class, or we can, go for a quick ride."
And then we get high and just be like, let's just go eat and just kick it.
Right. Yeah. Then we meet up with Ross and like Joey.
They didn't go to class. Yeah, our whole crew we weren't the best at school.
I feel it.
No, we weren't prepared. They didn't prep us well at Hoptown for it.
Not at all. But no, man, never got a degree. I've been to college a total of 4 years, but I don't even have an associate's degree. I've just
it was all separate,
so much.
Separate stages.
Yeah. I went to community for a little bit, went to Western for that 1 semester, went back to community off and on a couple years, and just never lined it all up. So I feel kind of just got into it.
But that's cool though. I mean, it is true. You don't necessarily need a degree in order to make decent money. It's more about like the work ethic, I would think. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is true or not, but one of my like marketing idols, Gary Vee.
Gary Vee. Yeah, I know him.
I don't think he has a degree, and he has a multi-million-dollar marketing company. Like he's in probably net worth close to a B. So, I mean, and like there's tons of stories of people with no college degrees that make it. I think they're becoming less and less relevant, to be honest.
Yeah, especially because it's now getting to the point where they're so expensive to attain that it's just like some people are saying, why am I going to go into that much debt just to, get as much money as somebody who doesn't have a degree? So, yeah.
And even like there's even major companies like Twitter hires people now with no degrees. Google, they'll hire you without a degree. Yeah. Like it's even becoming like not even a requirement anymore, even for like big tech companies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's pretty interesting how things are changing, and COVID is definitely accelerating that as well. That perception with people just straight up dropping out of school because they don't want to deal with Zoom classes and stuff. And, so it's pretty interesting that the times we live in for sure. But that is cool with Facebook ads. Do you just like help people run ads on Facebook, or is it more of a thing where you start from like conceptualizing like a whole marketing like strategy, a whole marketing plan, and then is Facebook just a facet of that?
Yeah, so usually there's kind of like a couple different ways to do it. I've kind of dabbled in all of them, but the one that I do mainly is done for you. So that's where I actually run all the ads myself.
Okay.
But I fit it inside of their existing marketing and stuff. So it's kind of like a collaborative effort between me and the client. So I'm like, hey, what kind of email stuff do you have going on for these people that are going to see our ad, or like what kind of other marketing stuff, so that we can work together side by side. Because the thing is, a lot of clients I hire, they think Facebook ads is just like the magic sauce that they need that's going to blow their business up.
Oh yeah.
But you have to have like a full holistic system in place. You can't just run Facebook ads and make $1 million. You have to have email marketing and organic content and, all kind of other stuff.
Oh yeah.
A couple other ways you can teach it. So like as a coach or something like that. I'm starting to dabble in that more because now I feel like I have enough experience to actually teach other people. I've been doing it for 4 years, so I feel pretty good at it. So, I mean, I have a Facebook group that has about 8,000 people in it. So I do a little bit of coaching in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I'm working on building a course out. So, like, I don't know if you've heard of like Udemy or like, there's basically like courses on anything in the world you want to learn. And there's a ton of Facebook courses out there, but I'm working on building one myself to like teach people how to start doing it and stuff.
Nice.
So,
that's cool. Well,
a lot of different avenues you can go with it.
Yeah. When you get that up and running, let us know, because we'll definitely plug it on the show.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Be cool.
But that sounds really cool. I'm always interested in like hearing how people are able to, use small avenues of marketing, in order to be able to, be able to support a family and close on a house. Like, that's really cool.
Right.
So,
you planted a seed and now you got a tree that's bearing fruit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I really didn't get into it until I had kids. Like, up until then, I was just working like basically shitty jobs, like pawn shop, McDonald's, factories, stuff like that. And then when I found out Emily was pregnant, my ex-wife, she didn't want to move out of Hoptown, and I realized there's basically nothing but shitty jobs in Hoptown. So I was like, I got to figure out a way to make better money, but I can't do it where I'm at. I have to do it online somehow.
Yeah,
and like,
right.
I've kind of always been like, even since I was like 15, I was like, how do people make money online? Because like, I know people do it, but how do you do it? So then I don't know, started joining Facebook groups, connected with a dude that had an agency. He needed help. And then he hired me part-time back in like 2015.
Wow.
And that's how it started. Started working with him full-time 2016 and just kept going from there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, mentors are very important, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's where it all starts. Somebody taking you under your wing and stuff. That's really cool. That's really cool that happened to you. And now you're going to be able to pass on your knowledge to other people. You're going to become the mentor. That's
the Padawan becomes the Jedi.
Exactly.
Right.
The master.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marco.
Oh, I was going to pivot to something else but I'll let you do that, Quinn.
I was just gonna bring up, you kind of briefly mentioned, Hoptown, and it is a straight up, it's a trap, man. It is a black hole. And I've spoken about it, kind of sort of on here, on how, man, it is like a spider's web. Once you get caught in it, it is hard to get out of, man. Can you illuminate how shitty Hopkinsville is for people who may not trust my opinion? And when I mean shitty, I mean, it's my home. I grew up there. It's where I consider my home to be. But, in a realistic view of it, it is a fucking trap, like a literal black hole. So, man, talk a little bit about Hopkinsville and the good, the bad, and the definite ugly of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had mixed feelings about it. Obviously, I grew up here too. So, I mean, it's my home as well. The thing is, I think Hoptown's good for small town type people that want that type of environment. They don't love a lot of growth or big city type stuff or anything like that. But for me personally, I'm just like if I didn't have kids, I would probably live in like downtown New York, or like I want to be able to walk outside, or like I want my building to have like restaurants, a gym, a shopping center. Like I'm so much about convenience and like doing what I want to do. And you just can't do that in Hoptown. I'll give you a couple of examples. So last year in February, I started working out really hardcore. And I would drive to Clarksville, which is about 40 minutes away from where I live, just because they had a sauna and a steam room. And I wanted to incorporate a sauna and a steam room in my workout, Joe Rogan style. Yeah. So I would, Monday to Friday, I would drive 40 minutes to and from another gym in another city, just because Hoptown, there's not a single gym with a sauna or a steam room.
I see.
Second example, I started boxing 2 months ago. I drive 40 minutes to and from Clarksville Monday to Friday to go boxing. There's not a single place to box in Hoptown. There's just not a lot of opportunities. There's not a lot of things to do.
Right.
But I mean, like if you like small town and like that's your thing, you'd like it. But like if you want to experience life, that's not the place to do it.
That is really interesting.
It's like frozen in time.
Yeah, very much so.
What's the time period that it's frozen in?
Dude, I'd say it's around 1983.
Oh wow, damn.
Honest to God, there's not been a lot of significant changes from when my dad was a sophomore at Christian County, to when I went there last year for my grandmother's funeral, and I was astonished to see, man, same old.
It's the same.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I can definitely draw parallels from your guys' experience growing up in Hopkinsville, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopkinsville and also Oak Grove. Just because, like, how you guys say it's like a black hole, people just get sucked in. There's people that I went to school with too, and I'm only 23, but like, there's definitely people who have not left or not even gone out to just like there's people that haven't even left the Sacramento County area that I know. They just have stayed within this little bubble. So I definitely understand that. But Quinn, if you could quickly talk about like the similarities and the differences that you've seen between Elk Grove and Hopkinsville.
Well, the biggest difference is Elk Grove is kind of at this point a subsidiary of Sacramento. I mean, it is literally, a third of Bruceville. The back ass of Bruceville Road is Elk Grove. One step and you're in Sacramento.
Yeah.
In Hopkinsville, dude, it is 40 minutes from everywhere. It is a geographical oddity. If you want to go to Bowling Green, 40 minutes. If you want to go to Clarksville, 40 minutes. Nashville's about an hour? Depending on traffic.
Yeah.
Paducah, about 40 minutes.
Okay. I see.
I mean,
like, you got to journey out to experience stuff.
And if you're not smoking buds, then it's a sad journey. It's a sad journey out, man. That being said, the land, the land around Hopkinsville, is some of the most beautiful land in the world, in my opinion, man. Rolling pastures, beautiful woods, and little rivers. It kind of reminds me of the Shire.
Hobbit.
Yeah, but the actual city of Hopkinsville itself, man. And to be clear, the state and the local government have done the city of Hopkinsville no fucking favors. Zero fucking favors. A lot of failed projects. The water park. Not saying it's a failed project, but it's a completely useless fucking project. When Kentucky should have legalized marijuana, should have been at the forefront. Should have been at the forefront. It literally would be the cash crop of that state.
We have so much farmland. Yeah, it doesn't make. I mean, dude, we could be like the richest state.
Everyone's
not the richest, but we could be a lot better than we are.
Yeah,
and everyone's already growing marijuana, dude. I remember going to a trailer park, near
the golf course.
It's now called Martin Luther King Way, but it used to be called something else. Kind of like as you're going past the Jefferson Monument.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I went to a trailer park there one time to buy drugs, and the dude, his trailer was literally a greenhouse.
Oh damn!
Wow,
bro, and it was fucking crazy.
One of my buddies from Pembroke, I'm not gonna name his name obviously, but I just saw him at the dollar store. So Pembroke is like a subsidiary of Hoptown, so it's like an even smaller. Like we have a gas station and a dollar store, and that's it. There's no light. Like it's just small ass little town.
Is it like a neighborhood kind of, or is it bigger than a neighborhood? Okay.
There's that one gas station with bomb ass pizza.
Yeah, it's basically a neighborhood that has a gas station in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but I saw my buddy at the dollar store. Just speaking of growing, like everyone in Kentucky, and he had in his front seat a Walmart bag, probably, if I had to estimate, probably like half pound, maybe 3/4 of a pound of bud. And he was like, "Hey, bro, I got 42 plants back at my house. I need help trimming.
Oh my
you know anybody that can help me?" And I was just like, "Man, I'm kind of busy right now, but I'll ask some of my homies to smoke because I don't smoke anymore either." So he's like, "Bro, I'll smoke you out. I'll pay you. You can take some bud home." And I was like, "Man, if I was a pothead, I would get in your car right now and go help you."
That's crazy. So it seems like the area that you guys grew up in is a place that is lacking of like an economic industry cornerstone. Like it doesn't have like something that economically
Well, there's
speaking.
Ebonite.
Really?
There's Ebonite. Oh, never mind.
It's basically a factory. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of factories. That's like the only real thing we have, like job-wise, that's helping us grow some is we just have a lot of factories. But nobody...
Factory or farming.
Yeah, it's just shitty work. Like, if you compare us to Clarksville is just like exploding and Hoptown's not. And it's kind of hard. Like, I don't know what Hoptown needs. Or even if Hoptown wants to get bigger, like it seems like with the leadership, they don't care really about becoming like a bigger city or anything.
Like they're happy just where they're at, where you guys are at.
Which I don't think that's your thing. That's cool, but I don't know, not my style.
I don't think they invest enough back into the community.
I mean, they did offer them sort of. They're building like a huge walking trail. Like we have the walking trail still, but they just put like a huge extension over it, which went. Do you know Lafayette Road in Cox Mill? Like that light right there? So they got a bridge that goes all the way across that, and they're connecting it to where that train track used to be. So they got the really big walking trail. They just built some new building by the Bruce Convention Center. I don't know, like a sportsplex or something. So
that's cool.
They're adding stuff, but I don't know. It's just, maybe it takes time. Maybe I'm being too patient.
More of a slow crawl.
It's gonna need someone who like grew up in the struggle that just comes to the realization like, I think I'm gonna fucking change everything about this place.
We are getting Popeyes.
Hey,
lit.
There we go.
Lit.
Yeah.
Y'all finna be out of chicken sandwiches all the time, bro.
Right. Bro, you remember Popeyes was right by PFT, right at the base of the building?
Dude, lit. Right next to Burger Company.
Them dry biscuits, bro.
Oh my god, dude!
You got the cotton mouth. You might fuck around and die eating one.
So the PFT was the building you guys stayed in Northwestern, was it?
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Alma mater of Tyler Higbee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he's on the Rams. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was the biggest. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if you guys have any stories you're willing to share from your time at the college or university.
Well,
any ones that come to your mind.
Most of my recollection, we kind of fell into a structure of where it was just wake up, smoke, eat, meet up with Ross,
drink,
smoke, and we'll just go from either Olivia's or Gracie's, just go back and forth between the two places and just party.
See, that was your experience because that was a semester before I got there. Because I didn't go to Olivia's or Gracie's. When I was there, we only went to Ross G's or we went to parties.
Oh, that's right.
You went 2 semesters. I went
3.
Oh, yeah. Well, I only went for the last one that you were there.
You're right. Yeah, you came in the semester when Ross and Chunko had a place.
Yeah,
Chunko.
Yeah. Chunko, dude, I miss that guy.
Names. The man, brother.
Hey,
the man.
Rapper, bro. You remember when him and Ross got in the fight in the living room? Oh my god, bro.
I need to hear this.
Chunko threw him over the couch. Ross threw him into the table, broke their coffee table.
Yo,
what the?
Choco was a wild man. He's one of the coolest dudes I ever met. I remember one time, I can't remember, was it Wolf? I think it was Wolf. Complimented Chunko by calling him like, man, you remind me of Waylon Jennings or something. Some just like obscure compliment. And Chunko was like, my name is Chunko. And he just grabbed that motherfucker and gave him a Hulk Hogan power slam.
Damn.
And it was a wrap.
Man.
Waylon Jennings.
It was, it was a wild time. There was not a time when we weren't just completely, absolutely intoxicated.
Damn.
Yeah. We were probably drunk 6 days a week. I think the day I would drive home to re-up would be the day I was sober. Well, I would still smoke all day, but like I just wouldn't drink. Like I needed one day for my body to be like, bro, chill the fuck out. Like
I feel it.
Dude.
Sorry, I hit a train by the way.
No, you're good. No worries.
An obscure amount of blueberry swishers were consumed.
Bro, I never tried 2020 Mad Dog until you put me on.
Oh my god!
Every time I think of it now, I think of you, bro. Anytime I see Mad Dog,
That's the drink. That's
Quinn
the drink.
would.
To this day, to this day, Mad Dog is the drink. I recently went to a 7-Eleven here in Honolulu, and I asked him, because I went to a liquor store, I couldn't find Mad Dog 2020. So I went to a 7-Eleven, and I was like, do you guys know where I can find Mad Dog 2020? They literally laughed me out of the fucking place.
They're like, this little broke motherfucker.
Dude, it is so bottom shelf. It is the most bottom shelf. But, I got to concede. I learned about Mad Dog 2020 from Ross G.
That seems like some stuff he would be on.
Because, money was so tight with us.
Oh, yeah.
We'd only have we'd spend like $4. You could buy a fucking thing of Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah. You chug it, you're good. Like, you smash
fucking
it.
Fat bitches in no time. Like, like it is insane. Tastes like Kool-Aid. That's the craziness thing about it.
Yeah. See, and that's right up my alley, bro. Fruity drinks, I got no shame, bro. It's fruity drink for me over everything.
Oh,
Dude, if I could have...
Are you a White Claw guy?
Dude, funny enough, I have not tried White Claws.
Wow.
But basically, I actually used to be a bartender, but basically any kind of fruity tasting drink, I'm all for it.
I feel like
I don't like beer. I think it tastes gross. People that drink whiskey straight, I feel like you're just trying to look cool as fuck by doing that. Because I know it can't actually taste good. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah. I agree.
Dude, I've stuck to the same thing, dog. If I can't get a hold of Mad Dog 2020, I rock with the Sailor Jerry.
That's so funny. Hey, that's Ross D. He's the poster child for Sailor
Sailor Jerry poster child.
Did you ever go to his house in Hoptown?
No.
He had a cabinet. So how grandmas have them corner cabinets, and they got the glass door, and they look all antique. He had a cabinet. All 4 shelves in the top were Sailor Jerry bottles, empty ones. I'm talking probably 80 to 100 bottles in there, bro. Nothing. That's the only thing he drank ever. Or tequila. Ooh. Very rarely.
Damn.
Dude, it's just stuck with me, man. You remember that party we went out? Me, you, Kev, Ryan, and Ross went out to this party out in the middle of nowhere. Oh man, where did we go? I remember I passed out in the grass and it was raining. It was a wet night and I got sick for a week. Ross also passed out. And Ryan, either you or Ryan drove my car back.
It just reminded me of another story about Ross G. I don't remember that party. Me and Ryan, I know I was fucked up too, so it's not a surprise I don't remember that. I remember going to a lot of different houses. Was it a house or was it this college suites? Those apartments?
Dude, this was a house out in the...
I remember that. It was a frat party, I think, because there was a bunch of preppy girls there and some frat.
Yeah. And then there's that one emo chick that Ryan was like...
Yeah. When you went to live, they had the lights off and they had all the neon lights and shit in the house. Yes. Yeah, I remember that one now. I don't remember y'all passing out though.
Oh, well, then maybe I'm confused, but
something funny about a Ross G story. So it was just one night we got fucked up at the apartment. We were hungry. We wanted Taco Bell. It was just me and him. I don't know if everybody else went to sleep already or they just went back to the dorm. I don't know what the situation was, but it was just me and Ross G. And, we went to Taco Bell. It's probably 3, 4 a.m. We're both super fucked up. Ross G drove. That was definitely a terrible decision. I shouldn't have fucked with him either. The whole thing was all of my drunk driving. I'm super glad I'm alive and definitely don't recommend to anyone, but I can't deny what I've done.
Right.
But we went to Taco Bell. This man was so fucked up. As he was ordering, he put his order in and there was a car ahead of us, so we couldn't pull up right after our order. And he just opened his door and I looked over and I'm like, what the fuck you doing? And he walked up and he started pissing behind the sign Taco Bell. And then he walked over to my car door and he said, hey bro, I'm too fucked up. You got to drive back. And then he wouldn't he just started getting in the door. He wouldn't let me get out and walk around. So I had to jump over the middle console to get into the driver's seat. I ended up spilling my Solo cup because my dumbass brought more alcohol with me. I spilled my Solo cup all over my lap as I was moving. No. And yeah, that's basically a good explanation of what most of our nights were like.
Dude, I don't know how we managed to avoid trouble for so long.
Bro, none of us got arrested. None of us
did. No, Ross got arrested one time. Remember, he spent a night in jail.
Yeah. Did fuck you to that bike cop or something?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh my god, bro.
What?
We were I think we were walking to DT's or a bar or something
from his apartment.
Yeah, and a campus cop on a bike just was riding by, and he was just like, "Hey, fuck you" or something. Like he just said "fuck you" to the cop. We're like, bro, why would you ever do that? And then obviously he was drunk as fuck, so he got a PI.
You remember that couch that got set on fire after UK won the ship?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, is that when they won it when like John Wall and
this was
I think. Yeah.
And then dude,
I remember one time there was a drug bust right across from Ross's apartment. So like Ross was on the 3rd floor, and there was like a courtyard in his shit. They had a courtyard. The other building was across.
Mm-hmm.
We were all we were on his fucking balcony, just like chilling. But we saw this SWAT team just go through into this apartment. Well, first some chick came out onto the balcony and just started throwing shit in the courtyard. And we were like, what the fuck is this girl doing? So then she goes back in, and like 2 seconds later, this SWAT team goes through the apartment, arrests everybody in the apartment, and then they take them all out. And Ross was like, yo, I'm about to see what was down there. He went down there. This man came back with like 3 ounces of bud, like 8 pill bottles. They were like dealers or something. And he just got like this stash of drugs from this house that this lady threw out.
That's wild.
It was crazy.
I also remember the time when this was before we moved together, when you and Ryan were living in the room. They were doing like room checks or whatever. And you guys were like, nah, fuck this.
And we
all met up at Ross's, and we smoked like
a lot.
27 to 30 blunts. We just killed an entire bag of shake. Watching Snow on the Bluff and Breaking Bad over and over again.
That was low-key one of the scariest nights of my life, dude.
Dude, I remember.
Because me and Ryan I was mainly selling. Ryan was helping me sell. I had probably like a half a pound on me at the time. And we got woke up at like 2 a.m. and they said they were searching the rooms. And I took out one of the ceiling tiles and I like threw it so it would have been in like the next room over. But right. We also had like bubblers and like all kind of little dumb shit in there, scales and stuff. But dude, I remember going down. I didn't even put my shirt on. I was down there shirtless at like 2 a.m. Yeah. It's like 47 degrees outside.
I remember meeting y'all outside. Yeah.
Yeah, we met down at PFT right in front of it. But yeah, dude, me and Ryan were tripping. Ryan smoked a cigarette that night, and he like never ever smokes. But he was like, "Bro, I'm tripping."
That's crazy.
That shit was so scary. Also, that shit sucked because we had to walk down 26 flight of stairs. They wouldn't let you take the elevator.
Right. Was that the same night Keely threw up sitting next to me?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I forgot all about her.
Dude, she was the most off-it girl I'd ever met in my life.
Yeah, she was super chill. She's like your typical stoner girl.
That's cool.
And some. Dude, besides that, I just remember not so much drunk driving, which I know we all did, and we certainly don't endorse. I remember taking long ride-outs, like the longest ride-outs we've ever taken.
Ride-outs, bro.
In our lives, dude. Like, we would hop on the fucking interstate.
Whoa.
And just go like 2 cities over, hit a loop under the underpass. Yeah, I remember one time you were so pissed about having to take it, you whipped it a U-turn on the interstate.
Bro, ride-outs are Quinn's thing. That's his
ride-outs. What are ride-outs?
They're commonly known, maybe around different parts, as bone cruises. But what we would do, this was our thing. If
basically,
you were from
drive and smoke.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you were from Hopkinsville, it's just a absent-minded ride. You just jam pack your car with your closest friends, windows rolled up, and you just fucking go out for a ride and, minimum 2 blunts.
I see.
And a lot of times there'd be freestyling going on.
Oh, yep.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and shit.
Oh my god.
Also, anytime I hear Money Trees, I think of you because you listen to that on every single ride out because it had just came out like right around that time.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear it, bro, I'm just like Quinn smoking.
Dude, I remember. Yeah, I played a lot of Good Kid, Mad City. Ryan was constantly banging Kush and OJ.
Yeah,
that was like his go-to.
I don't even know what I listened to back then. Mine was probably a mix of like I think dubstep was kind of big. I think I was into dubstep back then.
Dubstep was pretty big around that time. And then, I was super into it when I was like a freshman in high school.
Yeah, probably dubstep, and then the typical like rap and some metal here and there.
Because you're a musician, right, Kevin?
I mean, I don't get paid to play music, but like I play guitar. I've played a little bit of piano. I've made some beats before.
That's cool.
I dabble in music. I do love it.
Do you have like a favorite genre?
I would say my top would probably be rap. Metal would be a really close second, just because I love playing guitar.
Yeah.
And then like trap, dubstep, electronic type stuff.
That's cool.
After that.
Yeah.
Yeah, rap is probably my one true love in the music world. I just like I'm almost obsessed with it. Like one of my favorite things is just like discovering a new rapper or like a new song or something, and I'm just like, wow, this is so good. I can't wait to listen to this 80 times today.
That's awesome.
Who have you been listening to recently? I recently discovered 2 rappers, Sean Price, who has passed away. Sean Price and Vinny Paz, 2 indie rappers.
Rest in peace, bro. Hold up. Sean Price, indie who?
And Vinny Paz.
Oh, Vinny. Dope. I'm about to look them up later.
Do you use Spotify, Kevin, or do you use Apple?
I actually I'm kind of one of the weird ones. I have YouTube Music and YouTube Red. So it's perfect for parents because my daughters can watch YouTube videos with no ads, and I can listen to music with no ads.
There you go.
It's the same price. So
nice.
And I watch all my podcasts with no ads and stuff. So
that's lit.
I don't know, dude. YouTube makes so much sense to me because it's the same price as the other ones, but I also get the video stuff.
Yeah, the videos. It's more bang for your buck.
Yeah, for sure.
When you got kids, I think YouTube is definitely the way to go for sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
But who have you been listening to recently?
I listen to a lot of kind of my normal playlist is like J. Cole, Kendrick, Joyner Lucas, JID. I listen to other stuff. I actually recently just got into Triple X. I kind of slept on him a long time, but now I've realized how hype his shit is. It's really good gym music, which I love, like high energy music. I don't know, a lot of stuff like that. Some Kevin Gates.
Always, dude.
Kind of whatever pops in.
Kevin Gates was another constant on the ride outs.
Oh, yeah.
Satellites.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And dude, then, like, what?
I was going to say, don't know what to call it.
Oh, yeah.
His first mixtape, dude, when that first came out, that was right around the time we were at Western, and it was fucking insane.
That shit was a banger. He's still making pretty good music. He's got, like, his last couple albums, they've had, like, songs on them, but they weren't a full banger. Like, Don't Know What to Call It, and, like, Luca Brasi was and stuff. It was just, like, some songs here and there. But, like, some up-and-coming people I've been listening to, there's this dude named Cal Scrubby. He's good as fuck. There's this other dude named Anonymous, but he spells it kind of weird. I actually don't know how he spells it, but he is an absolute spitter. He kind of sounds like Denzel Curry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love Denzel Curry. He's probably my favorite guy doing it right now.
Really? Yeah, he's really good. There's another dude named Corday. He's kind of like, he was an XXL this year. He's pretty good. He's got a wild flow. And then JID, he's on J. Cole's label. He's an absolute spitter. Boss, he's another spitter on J. Cole's label.
I know Boss.
Yeah.
Mitchell put me on a Boss.
Yeah. Oh, there's this other dude, Ryan told me about Toby Nwigwe or something like that.
Oh, I think I've heard of him.
He is also an absolute spitter. And he's like from Africa or some shit. But That's sick. Yeah, he's nice.
Ryan coming with the obscure fucking shit as always.
Yeah.
There's a a guy who comes on to an artist that comes on to the show. He's a regular. His name's he goes by K Hella. I just put the link in the chat if you want to check him out through his YouTube like channel type thing. I'm not a big rap head myself or hip hop head, honestly, admittedly, but his stuff is, I listen to it. I'm just like, I don't understand how somebody can just be this good. Like, it's really crazy.
Me and Terrell are slowly converting Marco.
Yeah.
I know. I saw y'all did a podcast. You did Terrell's, I think.
Like yeah.
Yep.
Terrell's been on here a couple times, and then I've been on his, and then me and Terrell have actually been talking about getting a place together in Atlanta.
What? That'll be tight.
After I graduate, so.
Heck yeah, dude! I know he's been down there. He moved down there last year sometime.
Yeah, he attests to it. He thinks it's fucking awesome. And he's been selling me on it too, so. Plus, it'd also be nice to move back to the South. And
bro, you only be 4 hours away? That's a weekend trip right there.
I'm saying, dog. It'd be near my brother and stuff, my niece. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then all my bros like you and Ryan.
What's your music lane? So you don't like rap. What's your main music stuff?
Well, I do like rap. It's just not like my favorite thing. And like, I feel like when people say I like rap, then they kind of think like, okay, this guy knows like a lot of things about rap too, where I'm not very knowledgeable in that genre. So I just say it's not really for me, but I'm trying to. Like, I really enjoy like 90s rap a lot. Like Mobb Deep and Liquid Swords is what Quinn put me on. And I've been listening to more Outkast too. But I listen to a lot of rock music generally. Like I was really into like emo and like scene music back in the day.
Same, bro.
And like metalcore around like 2012, 2013. I was super into like Asking Alexandria and fucking like Bring Me the Horizon back when they were just like straight like black metal. And Suicide Silence was a big one for a time, and a lot of those kinds of bands.
Rest in peace, Mitch.
I know, dude. That was tragic. I'll never forget that day when he died in the motorcycle accident in school. I learned in my chemistry class, and like there's this one like really big like scene dude who just was like nobody would talk shit to him because he was just like a big guy, and he heard the news and this fool teared up. Like he got so like fucked up over it. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. I remember when Mitch died too, and I don't know, it didn't affect me that huge back then, but it does. I'm not gonna say really affects me because like I don't know him. He's just like an artist I listen to and stuff. But the fact that he had a daughter, and now that I have daughters, it's just such a different perspective. Like a dad passing away, now he can't raise his daughters and see them grow up. Like that's literally my biggest fear in the entire. Well, second, first biggest is them dying because that's fucking terrible. Yeah. But like my second biggest fear in the universe is me dying before they like grow up and at least like go off to college or something. Yeah. And he had like, true. I think his daughter was like 3 or 4 when he died.
Yeah,
and,
she was really young.
That just fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's really tragic. I think, that's definitely a different perspective that you would have that I wouldn't for sure. But it is crazy to think like at the time too, something that was just like more of like, oh, damn, that's crazy. And now it's like, now you like think about it, it's like, whoa, like that's a lot heavier than I thought it was at the time. Yeah, that is true.
Like the Crocodile Hunter.
I'm way into your lane as well. I'm super into like all the metalcore, like August Burns Red.
Oh
like, Suicide. I'm into all that as well.
I just saw August Burns Red last year. They played with Senses Fail. I think.
Fail, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a good show.
I ain't been to a show in like 8 or 9 years, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to shows pretty often because I make music too and stuff. So I'm always going to shows and things of that nature pretty frequently.
That's dope.
Make connections and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I totally get it. Like at a certain point, shows do become more of a luxury instead of like something that you feel like you got to do all the time. You got to go to all the time. Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Is Hoptown Underground is no longer a thing, is it?
Nah. Yeah, I was gonna say the thing is, there's really just not even shows around where I'm at. I would have to drive I'd have to go probably like 3 hours, either to Louisville, Lexington, somewhere like that.
What about Nashville?
Say they have them every now and then. We have a place in Nashville that does shows, but like it's pretty rare even there now that there's shows there.
Really? That's surprising. It being
Marco's best friend just moved to
like,
Nashville.
yeah.
Especially with COVID and stuff. Like, I don't even know if they're doing shows right now.
Nah, they're not doing shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, my best friend just moved there. I haven't talked to him recently because he's been pretty busy with his new job. But it's crazy though. He lives like a 15-minute walk from the Titans Stadium.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, he's like in the heart of Nashville. It's pretty crazy. But
I lived in Nashville for like a year. I loved it, dude.
Really?
I would happily move back.
Nashville's the shit.
It seems like it's coming up.
Oh yeah, Nashville's they're blowing up too. Yeah. And I mean, they've always been like a big city though.
Yeah, that is true. It's interesting though, because like I was talking to Quinn a couple weeks ago, because I was just asking him, like, so what is the perception or like of, because there's like a mass exodus from people from the West Coast moving to like cities like Nashville or Memphis or even Atlanta. Yeah. So like I asked him, I was like, so how do people feel about that? And he's just like, I think you were the one who told me that people from California and from the West Coast leave California to get away from how things are here. And then they go to Tennessee and they try to make California more like, or try to make Tennessee more like California. Like they try to bring the coast to the South. And it's like, what are you doing then? Why are you leaving if you're trying to make it?
Well, that's kind of the nature of human beings. You kind of, gentrify places to make it similar to what you know. And that also been shared with me by a couple other people. I think Mitchell might have been one of them.
That is interesting. Interesting perspective.
Yeah, Joe Rogan moved to Austin. And then
he did.
Theo Von moved to Nashville, comedian.
Yeah, Theo Von,
There's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people moving out of California.
Yeah, a lot of people are. Which, it's interesting because, like, I was trying to get out for a minute. I was really heavily thinking about just leaving. But now with everything that's happening with COVID and the amount of people that are leaving and everyone realizing, like, you don't have to live in, the Silicon Valley or in Hollywood in order to be able to be in the industry and work in the industry. Now that people are realizing that, the internet exists and you could just use that. It doesn't really matter where you live necessarily. And that's just going to mean that over time, I think California prices, although they'll still be expensive, I think they are going to drop a little bit to a little bit more of a more attainable arena instead of this these astronomical prices that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still encourage it. I would still encourage any, single man who, doesn't have kids, who doesn't have like these, these outstanding responsibilities to move around, just to experience different places and people and cultures and stuff. I mean, even with this mass migration, to places like Atlanta, to places like Nashville is unique in its own. I mean, there's going to be a subculture there that is constant. There's too much history there.
That's true.
Like I was telling you about the Grand Ole Opry,
Yeah, here's another learning lesson for me being a parent. You really realize how short life is once you become a parent.
Yeah.
One way in like seeing my daughters grow up, like one of my daughters is already in school. Like I feel like tomorrow she's going to be driving and like graduating and shit.
Yeah.
So you realize how fast life goes, because then once I had kids and now I'm like, oh man, I'm in Hoptown for 18 years. Like there's no option to go anywhere else now, at least until I'm like 42.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done some more shit before I had kids.
Yeah.
Because now I have to wait 20 years to do that. Like
it's lockdown.
Not a way. So I mean, I definitely fully agree with Quinn that while you don't have anything tying you down to any particular place, experience the world like literally as much as you can.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that 100% as well. But it is interesting with kids. And of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but it does seem from what you said, like kids kind of in a way personify time. Like they embody the old like idea of time. Cause before you have kids, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm only, for in my case, I'm only 23, whatever. Like I still have, in 20 years, I'll be 43. That's still relatively young. I can still do stuff. But then once you have a kid, it's like you said, there's like, okay, 18 years here. It's like, wow. Like my whole life is almost on hold in certain respects. And it's like, you add the 18, it's like, oh my God, now I'm going to be that old. And wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, before you have, I don't know, this is for me. I don't know if this is for every person that like when they become a parent, this happens. But before I had kids, I had no sense of urgency. Like there was nothing pushing me every day. Like before I had kids, I would just wake up. I'd be like, all right, what's the next day I work? Oh, it's not for 2 days. Fuck yeah. I'm about to just fuck off for 2 days. Like it doesn't matter. Like the only thing I had to worry about was like getting to my next shift at work whenever that was.
Yeah.
And like I didn't care to like travel, move anywhere, try to get a good job. It's just like I was just living so carefree, which I think is good to get out of your system and experience that kind of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But also, once you have kids, you realize like, damn, life is actually really short, and I've just been fucking off since I was 20.
Yeah.
And now I got to get my life together. I can't move around. I can't party all the time. You know, it's just a different lifestyle. It's just a shift.
Yeah.
But it's a good shift. It definitely, I think most people become a better person. Obviously, some people can't make that jump for some reason.
Right.
I don't know if it's just like not in them, or they just, I don't know. They kind of just stay a piece of crap, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think it's kind of like whenever I've thought about kids and stuff and having them, like, there's that old saying, your parents tell you, you're not the center of the universe, but you kind of are. You're the center of your own universe. You know what I'm saying? And then once you like get married or you have kids or something, then your universe is literally shrinking, and all these other planets are now starting to formulate within your universe, and all that empty space that could have been occupied with whatever it is you wanted it to is now being occupied by other planets. So there's less time to, your orbit is shorter, is what I'm trying to say.
I see.
Yeah, dude, the whole thing, I literally was listening to a Rogan podcast today with this dude named Raval something. I don't remember his last name, but he's just like this hella woke dude that he just drops knowledge bombs like every 30 seconds. And one of the things he was saying is like, life is a single player video game. Like, you're the player. It's your life to live. You got to do you while you're here.
Right.
I feel like Quinn said almost that exact thing on this podcast before.
I said something similar. I said, your life is like your own RPG.
Yeah.
And,
I see life. That's so funny.
You are the avatar, and then you just choose what sort of, your decisions just beget more decisions and beget more decisions. You have side quests, you have your main quest, you have skill points that you can attribute to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't use them, they get wasted,
Yeah.
It is interesting though, because when you put it in that perspective, then it's like, okay, what's a game without a quest, without, the main goal, and then the side quests you can kind of like explore, but you have the overall story you're trying to do. And it's like, what is my goal? And at that point you have to get a goal. You have to have some sort of drive. You have to assign to yourself. And that's a hard part for some people,
Goals are important, man. Goals are important. Quests and side quests are super important. Elsewise, you're just, watching RPCs.
You're an NPC, bro.
You're just an NPC.
Exactly. No one wants to be an NPC.
Yeah. You used to be an adventurer, and then you got shot in the knee.
Exactly.
Right? That's
Hello
so funny
there.
that you said that, because like I almost see life as an RPG. Like that's how I think about things almost.
Yeah.
Like every week I have like this rating system on like family, health, wealth, like shit like that. Like I rate myself every week. All right, how'd I do this week in this? What do I need to improve on? Like, what's my goals? How, like, I'm really big into like all that type of shit.
That's cool.
Goals
is important, man. Is, when they say when you write something down, it's 20% more likely to come true.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. One of my mentors told me, you don't hit goals, you don't track. So like, if you're not constantly aware of it, constantly tracking your progress towards it, like if you just have a vision board and you're like, I want to be a millionaire, you're probably never going to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
but if you have like a vision board that says, I want to be a millionaire, how do I get there in 2 years? Okay, this is what I need to do in 1 year. How does that break down into months? What does that look like each week? What's my day-to-day look like for that? Like you gotta have a path, and you gotta take that first step and keep going through it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, main quests, they have little sub points in them that you got to hit.
Yep.
Or else you can't unlock the next, the next part of the quest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Life is very much the same way. And it also, I mean, I can easily.
Except when you die.
Oh yeah, well, there's
And
no respawns this time.
Could you imagine? You fucking just get hit by a car and you're like,
just
Dude,
pop back up.
Have y'all ever heard about I think it's either Taoism or Hinduism? It's one of the religions that believe in reincarnation, and that
Hinduism.
Your karma affects, like, you basically do respawn. Like your karma affects how you're gonna respawn into your next life.
Yeah.
Dude, I find it so interesting.
Yeah, that's Hinduism.
No, I took a class on world religions, and in Hinduism, depending on how you lived your life, if you were a shitty person, you're gonna be reincarnated regardless. But if you were a shitty person, you could easily come back as like a fucking beetle or a blade of grass.
Yeah.
But if if you live an outstanding life, then you can come back as another person.
Yeah. Dude, I think about that a lot, actually.
It is weird, man. A lot of times I kind of think about it like deja vu or in parallel thinking.
Yeah.
Like is there a subconscious hive mindset that we can all tap into without truly acknowledging it? Until we take something like DMT and then and then we see the fucking web,
Dude, I was listening to another Rogan podcast. I forgot who the dude was, but he was talking about hive consciousness and how, so ant colonies operate under hive consciousness. And if you drop ants, like if you have a colony here and a colony here, you drop an ant from this colony over here, all the ants automatically know that that's not an ant in their colony, even if it's like same physical characteristics and everything, and they just attack it instantly. Like every single ant knows simultaneously somehow. And he was talking about how that connects with human collective consciousness, and there's all kind of theories on that as well.
Yeah,
that we're all one and together and connected and stuff.
I mean, I easily believe it. Think about how close a community ant colonies are. Imagine if the three of us, probably Ryan too, we're all living together, easily we'd be finishing each other's sentences.
Oh yeah.
In no time.
Yeah.
In no time.
Yeah. It's like when I woke up at Western and you already had a blunt rolled, and I was like, bro, how'd you know?
Or I mean, there are real life examples too, aside from the blunt rolling, where women, when they're together in the same vicinity for a couple of days,
they menstruate their cycles.
Yeah, they start syncing up.
Yeah, dude, my ex-wife and her best friend were like that.
Really?
They were all together.
That's wild.
Can you imagine if we all got boners at the same time? Virtually. Just talking about the same thing. We're like, oh my God, it's happening.
Or not even when we're talking. We're just one of us does, and then we're just another one's doing chores, you're vacuuming your living room, and then all of a sudden you're at full staff. It's full mass.
You just hear the suction just and all of a sudden you're playing the Switch and you're like, someone must be vacuuming.
That'd be funny. That's crazy.
I could see it, man.
But yeah, religions and stuff like that are interesting. I'm not a religious guy, but in terms of the spirituality that religion kind of brings with it and entails, that type of stuff is pretty interesting to me. I feel like it's becoming more of a interest just culturally too within our society.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not religious either. I don't know, dude. Everything, I'm such a logical person and I'm data driven. I have to touch and feel and see things.
Yeah.
So the concept of God is just so wild to me. I don't know. And I don't know, in particular Christianity, I'm just there's just so many holes in it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone around me is Christian. My family is.
I'm the
my
same
dad
way.
was a preacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I've been exposed to it a ton, but it's just, there's so many holes in it. And even with every religion, it's just, I don't know, how can you know what's true? There's no way to know without dying, but then you can't go back and tell yourself.
Yeah.
So
there's no
everything's
real
like a mystery. I don't know
Yeah.
what to believe.
there's no empirical evidence. Everything's anecdotal.
Yeah, and everything is just like, well, that's why you have to believe, because you don't know, and it's and that's why they call it the mystery of faith, because it's like, well, you have to blindly believe. That's literally the only answer.
But at the same time, it's a paradox, because faith isn't faith if it's not tested.
Yeah, true.
What I don't know if this is what I choose to believe, but one thing I find beautiful about spirituality, if there is a grand designer or a master creator, well, that's a super cool concept to know, that things are somewhat preordained. But if there isn't, if life is final at death, well, that is equally just as beautiful in my eyes, because it truly enhances the day-to-day, the minute-to-minute moments of your life, knowing that it will never happen again, that each moment is unique in its own.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's really a wrong way to go when it comes to spirituality or faith.
Yeah.
Both to me have high ceilings.
Very true.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. I definitely understand the sentiment. Definitely. It looks like we're about at time. So, Kevin, before you dip out, is there anything you want to say, or anybody you want to plug or shout out?
Not really. I mean, you guys for having me on. My boy Quinn for just us being able to reconnect and kick it for a minute.
This definitely.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, we got to do it again soon, man.
Oh, definitely.
Bro, we should do like a collab, like me, you, Ryan, all on one. Maybe
Oh
me,
my God,
Pharrell, just like have a group.
Dude, I would love to. I would love to be the
a Western reunion.
Yeah,
I'd love to be the maestro in that, just conducting the orchestra of funny stories and stuff. I would love
be prepared for the darkest humor of all time. If you get me, Ryan, and Kev together.
Oh man, that'd be fun. I would love to hear the stories, and just like today, I would love for this to be like bigger. It would be so funny.
No, I had a lot of fun, dude. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Kev. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you on again soon. And next, we have our games of the week and then weekly recommendations. So here that is. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that conversation with our guy, Kevin Pierce. Now it is time for our games of the week, where we look forward to week 3 of the NFL season and each select a game that we are looking forward to in terms of quality and sometimes in terms of just being favorite fans of the team. We don't pick the game that is the Sunday night football game, which is usually, or actually, yeah, it's always on NBC. We don't choose that game just because obviously people are going to watch that game. The Monday night game is fair play though. So, Quinn, what is your game of the week for this week?
My game of the week, and I don't mean to seem like a homer, but it is what it is when your team is, rocking and rolling. My game of the week, purely based on matchup, is Rams at Buffalo.
Yeah, this is a good game. We both went into this segment having our games of the week set, and we realized, okay, we have the same game of the week. So
yeah,
we have a second game we're going to talk about too, but for now, this is the focus. And yeah, I agree. The Rams and Bills is a very intriguing matchup. And like you told me before we started recording, that the Bills are considered the favorites by 2 points. Currently.
Yeah, by 2.5 points.
Oh, 2.5?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an offensive shootout. The way Josh Allen is playing, people are talking about, MVP Kyler Murray, MVP Russell Wilson. Not enough people are talking about Josh Allen in the MVP conversation. 729 passing yards, 6 touchdowns over a 2-game period. He's averaging 400 yards a game. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Stephon Diggs is having a baller year, 239 yards over 2 games.
Yeah.
Where the Bills are struggling is in the run offense.
They need help.
I believe Zach Moss went down yesterday.
Yeah.
So they're going to rely heavily on Devin Singletary. Now, that does play into the Rams' favor because where the Rams struggle on defense is stopping the run.
Really?
Yeah. Miles Sanders had came just shy of 100 yards yesterday. And then previously in week 1, Zeke Elliott, played like Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
That's kind of an aberration. But, in the McVay era, it is evident that where the Rams struggle most is in the run defense. Most likely because when it comes to investing our money, typically the middle part of the field, the linebacker core is they get the change from the piggy jar. But I do like this game a lot. I'm not entirely sure who to pick yet. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go and root for my team, the Rams. Where I do like us is our consistency and our tempo on offense.
Yeah,
we've been rocking and rolling in the first half of every game so far. Now there has been a drop off slightly in the second half, particularly in the third quarter. We seem to just start a little slower.
Yeah,
but otherwise, the way Jared Goff has been playing, he's not putting up the same kind of numbers as a Josh Allen, as a Russell Wilson, as a Kyler Murray, but he is distributing the ball at a real efficient clip, and he is being he has been more accurate in these 2 weeks than he has for the last 4 years. He went 13 for 13 before throwing his first incomplete pass yesterday.
Yeah, very efficient. I must add, though, I think that Tyler Higbee is the key for the Rams offense going forward. It seems like he's emerged as a red zone threat, which they very much needed since, Cooper Kupp, he's had decent games through the first 2 weeks. But in the red zone, they definitely have stalled a little bit. So the fact that they were able to get Higbee going, that's definitely going to be a focus for the Bills defense in stopping Higbee. I just don't know how successful they're going to be because he is a huge threat in that area.
Yeah, Cooper's he's been a little inconsistent. He played a lot better in Philadelphia than he did against the Cowboys. He is, as of right now, our leading receiver with 9 receptions for 121 yards. But right on his heels is Robert Woods, who's kind of our all-purpose receiver. A lot of jet sweeps, a lot of screens to Robert Woods. He's our big yak guy, yards after the catch.
Yeah.
Also, one of our best lead blockers, Robert Woods. But you're absolutely right about Tyler Higbee. Having a stalwart in the middle of the field really opens up everything else.
Yeah.
Tyler Higbee coming into his own. One, it really opens up the run game because it draws a linebacker. A linebacker or a safety has to be focused on Tyler Higbee.
Yeah.
And as long as, we keep running 3 receiver sets, Van Jefferson is coming into his own. He had a real good game yesterday. Darrell Henderson stepped up. It seems like our running back by committee is working so far. Cam Akers is day-to-day, so hopefully we'll have him back against Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I'm really confident in the combination of Malcolm Brown and Darrell Henderson. And then, speaking on the Bills side, Tre'Davious White at the cornerback position is one of the better corners in the league. Yeah. I would say a top 5 corner. But besides that, I really think it's going to be an offensive shootout. I'm going to say Rams 30-27. I think it's going to be a gun show, a Lodi gun show. No warrant needed.
That's interesting. I think, man, this is a toss up for me. It really is. I think I know that, it's not necessarily the smartest thing to do in terms of a football game, because it is a team game and there's many facets to it that can dictate whether you win or lose. But if we were to overly simplify this game down to one aspect, I think it comes down to the Bills' running game. If they're able to get Devin Singletary going, I think I will take them 10 times out of 10. If he is inconsistent, as he has been, and if they rely heavily on Josh Allen, I think this is a game where Josh Allen is going to throw his first interception. I would predict that. I think Jalen Ramsey is a shark in the water, and he smells blood, especially with a pass happy quarterback like Josh Allen. It's bound to happen when you're throwing against Jalen Ramsey.
I would expect Josh Allen to be the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills in this game.
I don't doubt that, but I just think they need that second. They need that. A
more balanced offensive attack.
They need that Mark Ingram to Josh Allen's Lamar Jackson. Like they need that complementary piece. They need to get Devin Singletary going, especially since Zach Moss is done at least for this next game. It's looking like. So I'm actually going to take the Bills. I'll give the 3 points. I'll give them 3 points. I'm going to go Bills 24, Rams 21. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as many people believe. I think these defenses are going to be able to get some stops. But in the end, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to take it. And it's going to just come down to the running game and if the Rams can stop the run or not.
One thing to consider and one thing to look out for. One of the games within the games, how long Josh Allen holds on to the ball to make a play happen.
Yeah.
Could very well end up in a real sack-happy game for the Rams.
It's true. They still have Aaron Donald, so.
Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Leonard Floyd has a sack. He's playing decently. Micah Kaiser, who was out the entirety of last year when he got hurt in the preseason of last year, has been stepping up and has been a tackle machine, sideline to sideline for the Rams. So, quick shout out to Micah Kaiser, who's stepping in for Corey Littleton, who now plays for the Raiders.
Yeah,
who was an amazing linebacker for the Rams for like the last 4 or 5 years.
I think Corey Littleton. I think he might have gotten hurt, or he might be hurt. I'm not sure.
Who didn't get hurt yesterday?
Yeah.
Tons of injuries. Saquon Barkley, gone for the year.
Yeah.
Oh, gone like a freight train. Gone like yesterday.
Corey Littleton is not hurt. He just didn't do anything in the past 2 weeks. He's just combined for 9 tackles over the first 2 games. So that's what Corey Littleton's been up to. But yes, to your previous point, the injuries have been staggering. So much so that we've had to instill a reserve, an injury reserve spot in our fantasy football league because there's been so many injuries, and a lot of other fantasy leagues are following suit. So it's pretty crazy that we had to make that historic adjustment to the league. But we now have our picks set for that game. Quinn's taking the Rams. I'm taking the Bills. It's going to be a very fun Sunday. And now we're looking forward to Monday because I'm going to take the Monday night game in my game of the week. It is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens are a 3.5 point favorite over the Chiefs. And, this game for me, once again, to overly simplify down to it, it's going to come down to the 2 quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been pretty steady over the first 2 weeks. He is their leading rusher and of course, their leading passer. He's thrown for 479 yards over the past 2 weeks and thrown for 4 touchdowns. He's only had 11 drops or 11 incomplete passes. I don't believe he's thrown an interception yet this season. I don't believe so, but if I'm mistaken, please correct me on that. And Patrick Mahomes as well, coming off of, one of those veteran showings that you kind of see from the likes of, an OG Tom Brady, not currently maybe, but, back when he was in his prime, Tom Brady, where he's able to just pull wins out of his ass. Aaron Rodgers, same thing. Peyton Manning back in the day, same thing. And I can imagine Joe Montana was similar even though I've never seen Joe Montana play live, but I can imagine he was very similar in that nature where he could just pull wins out of his rear end. And this
Joe Montana.
That's what Patrick Mahomes did this past Sunday, Quinn, which you and I both know. We were both watching the game, not in the same area code, but
we were chatting. We were
at the same time,
giving ourselves a live commentary.
Yeah, and you have a interesting take on the Chiefs. Maybe not in this specific game, but just overall. And I'm going to give you a chance to share that with the fine people of the Closers Podcast audience if you'd like.
Well, quite simply, I don't think the Chiefs are who they were last year. A 2-game sample obviously isn't a great sample, but it's all we have to go on. I'm not impressed by the Chiefs' front offensive line play, and I'm not particularly impressed by their defensive play either. I came away from yesterday's game being most impressed with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I thought that's what everybody did. Yeah, it seems like that was a consensus.
I honestly thought Justin Herbert had the game. If anybody deserved a game ball from either side, Chiefs or Chargers, it deserved to go to Justin Herbert. He did make one rookie mistake where I believe he threw an incomplete pass, or maybe it was an interception when he could have just ran for the first down.
Yeah, it was an interception. He tried to force it. And he had daylight in front of him. He could have just slid for the first, but yeah.
I mean, that could have sealed them the game. And if he would have just made that run, we wouldn't, my point would be more validated.
Yeah.
But mistakes like that have to happen so that these guys can learn from them. Okay. And notice Justin Herbert didn't make that mistake again. So I don't know, man. I'm not a big believer in the Chiefs. The Chargers, granted they have Tillery, Bosa, Ingram. They got some real studs in their defensive front. Mm-hmm. They were getting after Patrick Mahomes, and they were putting helmets on him.
Oh, cool. Yeah, of course.
And it seems like, I don't want to say that's the key to beating Patrick Mahomes, but it seems he struggles most when he's being hit, when people are being nasty to him.
I think that's with any quarterback. It's just, if I may interject real quick, I think his issue is he's not taking off and running as he was previous 2 seasons. He's for some reason trying to stay more in the pocket and try to do more of an Alex Smith style of play where he's trying to dink and dunk it down the field and control the clock, which is, that's good. He's trying to progress as a leader, it seems, and he's trying to translate that onto the field and not just be this flashy, quarterback that can throw, 60-yard passes for touchdowns every game, which is important. You got to be able to control the clock too, which is very understandable. But at the end of the day, it seems like he seems a little timid with that style of play. I don't know if it's Andy Reid telling him, look, we're going to try to get you to play this style a little more just to get you comfortable in low scoring situations or what it is. But it is interesting to see that he's not taking off as much.
Well, I think that timid is a good word. I think that's what separates him from, and this is an even hotter take, I think that separates him from the upper echelon of quarterbacks in this league. Now, you might be saying, what, Patrick Mahomes isn't in the upper echelon? Patrick Mahomes is right on the cusp. 1 MVP season, 1 Super Bowl championship, a great, great season. No one could take that away from him. But when you hold that up to the sample size of a guy like Aaron Rodgers, the bad man he is.
How many Super Bowls does he have?
Surprise. When you hold that up to a guy like Russell Wilson.
How many Super Bowls does he have?
They both have 1. But
and how many does Mahomes have?
Patrick Mahomes also has 1. But if you remember, he got his the same time in his career that Russell Wilson also got his.
Uh-huh. Both great quarterbacks.
Both are great quarterbacks. Now, this might be surprising coming from a guy like me who admittedly hates the Seattle Seahawks. I hold Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers in a higher respect than I do Patrick Mahomes.
Would it just be because their careers, they've been in the league longer and they've been able to sustain their success and show that they've been able to lead teams that are pretty poorly built around them to the playoffs, whereas Patrick Mahomes, you think, has had solid teams throughout his entire career thus far?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And, to be 100% honest with you, Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers have responded to adversity more frequently and with greater results than Patrick Mahomes. Now, of course, last year, Patrick Mahomes, led the charge on an amazing comeback against the Texans. But, and, it's not necessarily a fair comparison because you're comparing, the work of a career versus, 4 seasons?
Yeah, this is his 4th season in the league, but his 3rd starting. Right.
But to me, I mean, football is the ultimate meritocracy. And in my eyes, Patrick Mahomes hasn't earned the status of an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson. Not saying he can't, not saying he won't get there.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I've seen Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson do more with less, respond to greater adversaries or adversity, that I hold them in a higher regard than Patrick Mahomes.
I just think,
I don't think the Chiefs. It's all right. I don't think the Chiefs won yesterday. I think the Chargers lost yesterday. On that 4th and 1, Anthony Lynn should have given it to Austin Eckler in an ISO formation and drove it right up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have even been in that situation if it wasn't for Herbert throwing that pick where he could have just slid and gotten the first.
Right. So. Right, but they had an opportunity to correct it, to keep the momentum, to not even let the game go into overtime.
Yeah. But
Anthony Lynn mistakenly placed too much trust in his defense when, at a point in the game when the Chiefs are surging.
Right. And so to bring it back to the Ravens-Chiefs game that is on Monday night for week 3, what I saw the Chiefs defense struggle with the most is when Herbert would take off and run out of the pocket and make it happen with his feet.
Right. They're not playing contain very well.
No, they're not. And Lamar Jackson, that's his bread and butter. That's what he's made a career off of. And so with Lamar Jackson, and how the Ravens have been playing this entire season, it seems like they haven't missed a beat. It seems like they really took that loss to the Titans in the playoffs where they got embarrassed. They took it to heart and they learned from it instead of trying to, instead of imploding, they reacted like professionals do and have learned from it and are honestly looking like a more well put together and more cohesive team than last year, which, is a little crazy to hear for some people, I can imagine, because they blew out so many teams last season. But I think they're just playing smarter. Lamar Jackson is playing smarter. He's showing his maturity and his growth. And I think I like the Ravens in this game, honestly, because they have Lamar Jackson. He's willing to run still. He's doing what wins them games. And also their defense, I feel like it's more stout than the Chiefs.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I think Baltimore is going to take this game away. I think they're going to put up big numbers on Kansas City.
What's your prediction for the score?
I'm going Baltimore 34, Kansas City 16.
Wow.
I think Lamar Jackson's going to have, one of his better games of the year. 200 passing yards in the last 2 games, 275 against the Browns. Obviously, it's the Browns. They're dog shit. They always will be dog shit. The Texans, 204 yards, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. But here's the key. Against the Browns, Lamar Jackson had a quarterback rating of 152. Against the Texans, he had a QBR of 113. He's playing at a more efficient clip. He's playing like a veteran.
Yeah.
And yesterday against the Texans, we saw the running game, Mark Ingram, get more involved, start to take off more. The entirety of the Baltimore offense, the dual threat of it, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, these guys, they're starting to pick up their pace. I think Baltimore is going to get a big lead out front, and they're just not going to look back.
I will agree with that. I don't think I'm going to go with as much of a disparity as you have given this game in terms of a prediction. So, but I think I'm going to go Baltimore 30, Chiefs 24. I think it comes down to, like I said, the Ravens defense. However, I will say that it wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs won this game, because unlike you, I do think that Mahomes is in that upper echelon. And what he's shown yesterday was that he has the ability to win games when his team isn't on. He's able to make the plays that matter the most, which we've seen from the likes of Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, who you have mentioned in your point previously. And those are two guys that have been able to win games that they shouldn't have won. They just shouldn't have, but they get breaks. They make the most of their opportunities down the stretch, and they pull it out. And they get some lucky breaks in terms of production from their teammates. In this case, Harrison Butker hit some very key field goals in order to put them ahead and win the game for him.
Boots at 58 yards.
Yeah. So without Harrison Butker's production, they wouldn't have won that game. So overall, I think that Mahomes very well could take this game in a very similar fashion, because Mahomes, I think, has had more experience in bigger game situations than Lamar Jackson. And if the lights get too bright for Lamar and he throws some ducks downfield, then I think the Chiefs and Mahomes could very well capitalize on those mistakes and win the game. I see this game very much as Baltimore's to lose as it is as more than Chiefs to win, if that makes sense.
Well, your points are taken well. I would contend that without Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the Chiefs would not have beaten the Chargers at all yesterday.
Sure.
And without Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't think the Chiefs would stand a chance in the blue hell against the Ravens.
Pretty hot takes. Pretty
Dude,
hot takes.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is balling.
Yeah, he is.
Balling.
He's a great running back, great young running back out of LSU. I'm glad I have him in both of my fantasy teams. I took chances on him.
I mean, without him, the Chiefs wouldn't have. The running game would be completely and totally dependent on Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that has been our games of the week. We got the Rams facing the Bills, and we have the Chiefs facing the Ravens. Let us know who you think is going to win each game in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube or if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else. Go to our Instagram, DM us, or comment on a post who you think is going to win those two games. Now it is time for our weekly recommendations. Hooray! It's time. Quinn, you got a pretty interesting and historic weekly recommendation.
Yeah. My weekly recommendation for this weekend is UFC 253 Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. One of the biggest fights of the year, if not the second or first biggest, depending on where you rank Khabib versus Gaethje. I personally rank Khabib versus Gaethje number 1, but this is a close number 2. You got two undefeated prospects, Adesanya versus Costa. If you follow the UFC, you know exactly who Adesanya is. He's been everywhere lately. He's been on Hot Ones with Sean Evans. He's
the new UFC cover too for the game, the video game.
The new UFC cover. He's rising in popularity. This is for the middleweight title. Tremendous matchup. Paulo Costa, probably a little less known to the world out there. I like to call him Captain Brazil because he's built like a brick house. Just a savage. One of the few people that walked down Yoel Romero and knocked him down.
That's crazy.
Just walked right through his punches. This dude eats punches like acai bowls. He's a straight up gangster. And if you look back, they have a common opponent in Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
That was Izzy Adesanya's last fight, and it was a highly criticized fight. Adesanya depends a lot on counter striking. He's not much of a an initiator.
Yeah.
Of the contest.
Right.
Paulo Costa is going to initiate it. He's going to bring it. So, one could make the point that his style complements Adesanya's.
Right.
But, Costa tends to just walk through things. He's willing to take one to give two.
Interesting. What's your prediction? Do you have a prediction?
Well, Adesanya's game plan, I imagine, is going to be to pick and pop from the outside and wait for an opening to look for a finish. Costa is going to look to push Adesanya in the danger zone. Now, within the octagon, there are two octagons. There's the outer perimeter, the fence, and then there's a black line inside the octagon.
Yeah.
If you've seen a UFC fight, you've seen that line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the danger zone when you're in between that black line and the fence, because there's no backward movement that you can have.
Yeah.
Your back is literally against the fence. I mean, that's where the Diaz brothers do their best work. Anyone who is anyone knows how dangerous that place is. Costa's going to look to push him there, to keep him there, land some nasty hooks to the body, and then go up top. Who's going to win? It's a pick 'em fight. They're both undefeated. I believe Adesanya's 19-0, Costa's 13-0.
Yep, that is correct.
Adesanya's 6'4", Costa's 6'1". They're both 185 pounds. When they weigh in, I assure you, Costa will come into the fight well over 200 pounds. But here's the key: Adesanya has a 8-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
So that's pretty. That's a pretty stout advantage. But for the sake of a dope storyline that could evolve into a dope rematch, I'm going with the eraser, Captain Brazil.
Wow.
I'm going Paulo Costa just because it'd be a hell of a storyline.
That would start a new 3-fight rivalry.
Potentially. Also, key note to note in the co-main event, Jon Jones vacated the light heavyweight title.
Yes.
So in the co-main event, we have the next two fighters coming up that's going to determine who will be who will inherit that championship. We got Dominic Reyes.
Yep.
Out of I think he might be out of Ventura.
I think so. I think you're right.
He's out of SoCal.
Yeah.
12-1. His lone loss coming to Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Versus Jan Blachowicz from Poland, 26-8. They have a similar height, 6'4" to 6'2". Reach 77 to 78. Weight will both be 205 on weigh-in.
Yeah.
Hopefully. This is a really interesting fight. A lot of people thought Dominic Reyes actually beat Jon Jones in their last fight. Dominic has a good motor. He has he has solid wrestling. He has really good boxing, especially counter boxing.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz has really nasty Muay Thai. He's a bit more old school. Just a real veteran of the sport.
Yeah.
Has a real nastiness to him.
One thing that he literally is a vet. He's 37. So
yeah. One thing that came out that was really interesting. This is one of the benefits of Jon Jones vacating the belt, is that we get to learn things about these other guys that we otherwise would not have known. Jan Blachowicz is a pre-fight ritual where he caresses the noose of a man he found that was strung up, that committed suicide.
Whoa.
Yeah. He's tapping into the dark arts every fight.
That's heavy.
So just a little tidbit of information.
Huh.
Something that is pretty significant. Dominic Reyes lands on average 4.88 strikes per minute compared to Jan Blachowicz, who lands 3.45. They both have an accuracy of about 48 to 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Dom's gonna take this one.
You like Dom in this one?
I think Dominic's gonna win. I don't even really know. I've never really seen either of these guys fight, especially Jan. But just the vibe I get, my gut is telling me Dominic is gonna take it.
You know what? I'm gonna vote for Jan. I really want to see it's cool when you see a guy who's put in the work for so long. He's now 37 years of age. It's cool to see them reach the mountaintop.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be pulling for Jan Blachowicz.
Nice.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say third round submission. I'm gonna say third round submission.
Interesting. I like that.
And for the Costa Adesanya fight, I'm gonna say Costa by fourth round TKO.
I feel it. I don't know. I don't have a pick for the Adesanya fight, but my initial reaction was Adesanya was gonna take it. I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't like. It's one of those like as a casual fan, it's just like of course Adesanya, but
He's smooth.
That's why I'm not a huge fan of of MMA really, because I don't know like the intricacies. So therefore,
it's justified. It's justified. You know, I mean, just from what people have seen from him, you know, from the highlight reels, from the promotional material, you know, he's incredibly smooth, like fucking buttermilk. So
yeah,
you know, it's you're not your opinion is not unwarranted.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. So
but I would highly encourage anyone. You know, there's not a lot of sports going on Saturday, I don't think. You know, there may be some NBA games, but why would you rather see someone bounce a ball off a court when you can see someone bounce a head off a court? So, I would go UFC 253 Saturday night, Fight Island, one of the premier main and co-main events of the year. Check it out. Check it out, America.
Yeah. All right. And
join in the fun.
All right, so really quickly, my weekly rec, because we're running a little long, weekly rec is going to be the classic movie by director Wes Anderson, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it is Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I think it's Zissou. And it stars Bill Murray as renowned oceanographer Steve Zissou, and also his illegitimate son, Ned, who is played by Owen Wilson. Cate Blanchett is also in this movie. There's a ton of like star power in this film. Jeff Goldblum is in this movie. Willem Dafoe is in this movie. Then there's just also Matthew Gray Gubler, whatever. How do you pronounce his name? I don't know. But he's in this movie. He makes a cameo as an intern. And overall, this movie is just a really goofy, random sea adventure of an oceanographer who is played by Bill Murray, who is basically going through a midlife crisis and is realizing that like time has kind of passed him by and that he feels like he has nothing, but in the end realizes he has everything he's ever wanted. And
trying to find the shark that killed his friend, right?
Yeah, he's trying to find the shark that killed his friend. It's kind of like a play on the whole Moby Dick and everything. And it's a really great film. If you're looking for something a little lighthearted with some absurd action involved, this is your movie for sure. It's a pretty funny film. And just kind of let it take you where it takes you. You know, don't really think too much into it, too deep. It's one of those movies where Bill Murray definitely kind of like at times he just kind of plays himself. It doesn't even feel like he's playing a character. He's really just playing Bill Murray and at certain points. And I love that. I'm a huge Bill Murray fan. So if you are as well, I definitely implore you to check out Life Aquatic, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Happy belated birthday, Bill Murray. It was this weekend.
Yeah, happy belated. And so I think with that, we're going to call it an adieu. So without any further ado, we are the Closers Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at the Closers Podcast, on Facebook at Closers Podcast, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are the Closers Podcast. Please share these episodes with your favorite people so we can build a community of favorite people. I'm going to be closing out your week on Friday, as always. We got some things to talk about that I'm looking forward to talking about with you all. So I will be hitting your ears on Friday, and Quinn will be back with you on Monday with Hang 10. So for the Closers Podcast and Quinn Kalani, take care.